You misplace your keys again. You forget someone's name moments after being introduced. That creeping anxiety hits. Is this normal forgetfulness or the beginning of something far more serious? This fear haunts millions of people every day, and for good reason. The ability to distinguish between ordinary memory lapses and early dementia symptoms could be the difference between years of unnecessary worry and life-saving early intervention. Johns Hopkins recently published research showing that 60% of dementia cases go undiagnosed in their crucial early stages because families mistake symptoms for normal aging. Meanwhile, countless others live in terror over perfectly normal memory glitches. Understanding the real differences between forgetfulness and dementia isn't just medical knowledge. It's peace of mind and potentially life-changing action. The brain science behind memory loss. Forgetfulness and dementia operate through completely different mechanisms. In your brain, normal forgetfulness is like having a temporary glitch in your brain's filing system. The information is stored properly, but there's a temporary problem accessing it. Think of it like knowing you put something in a drawer, but forgetting which drawer. Dementia is fundamentally different. Brain cells themselves are being damaged and destroyed, progressively losing the ability to store and process information. It's like the filing cabinets themselves are being destroyed, making it impossible to store or retrieve anything. This fundamental difference creates completely different symptom patterns. Harvard Medical School tracked 5,000 people over a decade and found that those with normal forgetfulness maintained stable memory function, or even improved over time. But early dementia patients showed consistent cognitive decline every 6 months, creating a clear downward trajectory that normal aging simply doesn't follow. Daily life patterns that reveal the truth. The way memory problems appear in daily life tells the real story. People with normal forgetfulness might forget specific details, but retain overall understanding and problem-solving abilities. They might forget an appointment time but remember they have an appointment. Leave them a note saying, "Doctor visit 2 p.m. tomorrow," and they'll understand and follow through. Early dementia patients forget the appointment entirely. Even with notes, they might not understand what the note means, or forget they wrote it. The entire context disappears, not just the details. Cooking reveals dramatic differences. Someone with forgetfulness might forget whether they added salt and taste the food again, or forget to turn off the stove, but they remember how to cook and follow the overall process. Early dementia patients forget recipes they've made thousands of times. They might forget how to use familiar cooking tools, or lose track of the cooking process entirely. Shopping behavior changes too. Forgetful people might forget items on their list or buy duplicates. Dementia patients might forget what money is for, leave stores without paying, or become confused about the entire shopping process. Memory loss patterns that matter. The pattern of what memories disappear first is crucial. Normal forgetfulness typically affects recent, specific details. You might forget where you parked, what you had for lunch yesterday, or someone's name you just met. These are temporary retrieval problems. Dementia follows what doctors call Ribot's law. The most recently formed memories disappear first. Then memory loss works backward through time. Early dementia patients first lose yesterday's events, then last week's, then last month's, gradually erasing life experiences in reverse chronological order. UCLA developed a simple test that reveals this difference. When asked to recall 3 stories told 30 minutes earlier, people with normal forgetfulness remember when given hints. Early dementia patients cannot recall the stories, no matter how many clues they receive. The information simply wasn't properly stored. Wait, do you remember the statistic I mentioned at the beginning about Johns Hopkins research? What percentage of dementia cases go undiagnosed? If you can't recall the exact number, that's completely normal forgetfulness. But if you can't remember that I mentioned any research at all, that might warrant attention. Language changes that signal danger. Language problems provide some of the clearest early warning signs. People with normal forgetfulness experience tip of the tongue phenomena. They know the word they want but can't access it immediately. When someone provides the word, they immediately recognize it with, "Oh yes, that's it." Early dementia patients don't just forget words. They lose understanding of words they've used their entire lives. They might look at a clock and call it that round thing, or refer to a refrigerator as the cold box. They're not searching for words, they're losing the words themselves. Sentence structure changes dramatically too. Normal forgetfulness doesn't affect grammar or logical conversation flow. Early dementia patients start leaving sentences incomplete, jumping between unrelated topics, or struggling to follow conversation threads. Harvard's language assessment shows that people with normal forgetfulness can name at least 10 animals in 1 minute. Early dementia patients typically name fewer than 7, and the words they do produce often don't fit the category properly. Spatial awareness and navigation problems. Spatial perception problems distinguish dementia from normal forgetfulness more clearly than almost any other symptom. People with forgetfulness might temporarily lose their way in unfamiliar areas, but quickly reorient themselves using landmarks or GPS. They maintain their overall sense of direction and spatial relationships. Early dementia patients get lost in familiar places. They might not recognize their own neighborhood after living there for decades, or become confused about room locations in their own homes. More concerning, they often don't realize they're lost, lacking the insight that something is wrong. The clock drawing test reveals spatial processing problems. When asked to draw a clock showing a specific time, people with normal forgetfulness might make minor errors but create recognizable clocks. Early dementia patients often cannot properly arrange numbers around the circle, or understand how clock hands work. MIT research shows dementia patients lose three-dimensional spatial perception much earlier than other abilities. They might misjudge steps when walking downstairs, fail to recognize curbs, or have trouble navigating doorways, leading to increased falls and injuries. Personality and emotional changes. Normal forgetfulness might cause frustration or anxiety, but personality remains stable. People recognize their memory problems and develop coping strategies like writing notes, setting phone reminders, or asking others for help. Their judgment and decision-making abilities stay intact. Early dementia brings dramatic personality shifts. Gentle people might become aggressive. Social butterflies might withdraw completely, or trusting individuals might develop paranoid suspicions. They might accuse family members of stealing or become convinced their spouse is having an affair. Decision-making deteriorates significantly, while forgetful people remain capable of sound judgment about important matters. Early dementia patients might make bizarre purchases, fall for obvious scams, or give away money inappropriately. Stanford University found that 85% of early dementia patients show poor financial judgment within the first year of symptoms. Emotional regulation also breaks down. Minor frustrations might trigger explosive anger, or patients might start crying without clear reasons. These emotional responses seem disproportionate to the situations that trigger them. Daily function decline patterns. The most definitive difference lies in activities of daily living, or ADL. People with normal forgetfulness maintain independence in basic self-care, like bathing, dressing, and eating. They might take longer or make occasional mistakes, but they can perform these functions safely. Complex activities might become more challenging for forgetful people, but they adapt. They might need to write down medication schedules or double-check bank statements, but they maintain overall independence and safety. Early dementia patients progressively lose these abilities. Complex tasks disappear first. Managing finances, following medication schedules, or planning meals. Gradually, simpler functions become impossible. They might forget how to use household appliances, become confused about personal hygiene, or struggle with basic safety awareness. Money management often provides the earliest clear signal. While forgetful people might make calculation errors, they understand money's value and can handle basic transactions. Early dementia patients might pay bills multiple times, forget how to count change, or give away money without understanding consequences. If this information helped you understand these crucial differences, please subscribe for more brain health content. Like this video and turn on notifications so you never miss life-changing health information. Share this with anyone who needs to understand these important distinctions.